Yes, class 10. Now, chapter 2, Democratic Politics, Federalism. In this chapter, the main points are: first one, what is federalism? Federalism is a system of government in which the power is divided between central authority and various constituent units of the country. That means power is shared between central government and state governments. Few powers are given to the central government and few powers are given to the state government. Now come to the another point, that is unitary government. Unitary government means what? Where uh, where there is only one government and the subunits are subordinate to the central government. That means central government is all in all. The central government can pass an order to a provincial and a local government, but in federal system, both the government are, in the federal system both the government are equally important. But in unitary government, central government is more important than the state government. Point number 3, features of federalism. Features of federalism is important for exam also. Point number 1, that is there are two or more levels of government. Then second point, the different tiers of the government, the same citizen, but each tier has its own jurisdiction, specific matters of legislation, taxation and administration. Third point, jurisdiction of the respective levels or tiers of the government are specified in the constitution. That means, so we can say the existence and the authority of each tier of government is constitutionally guaranteed. And fourth features is the fundamental provisions of the constitution cannot be unitarily changed by one of the government. Such changes requires the consent of both the levels of government. And fifth one point, the features has the fifth point is the court have the power to interpret the constitution and the power of different levels of the government. Fifth and sixth point. Sixth point, the source of revenue, that means income, for each level of government are clearly specified to ensure its financial autonomy. Then sixth point, next point, seventh point is federal system thus has a dual objective to safeguard and promote unity of the country while at the same time accommodate regional diversity. So two aspects are crucial for the institution and practice of federalism. Now the two types of federalisms are there. First one, coming together federation, and second one is holding together federation. Independent states coming together on their own to form a bigger unit so that by pooling sovereignty and retaining identity they can increase their security. This type of coming together federation include USA, Switzerland and Australia. And next one is holding together federation. A large country decides to divide its power between the constituent states and the national government. As for example, India, Spain and Belgium. Here we can see India is divided into a few states. This type of government or federalism is a holding together federalism. What makes India a federal country? Here we will see some points. First one points is union list. Second one is a state list. Now first, union list. Union list means it includes the subject of national importance such as defense of the country and finance, foreign affairs, banking system, then communication and currency. The union government alone can make laws relating to the subjects mentioned in this union list. And secondly, the state list. The state list means it contains subjects of state and local importance such as police, trade, commerce, agriculture, and irrigation. The state government alone can make the laws relating to the subjects mentioned in this list. Next, concurrent list. In this list, this includes subjects of common interest to both the union government as well as the state government, such as education, forest, trade, unions, marriage, adoption, and succession. And central government has given some special power which is called residuary power. The subjects like computer software and came up after this constitution made, and the union government has the power to legislate on these residuary subjects. Now, point number 6, how is federalism practiced? Here are 3 points. First one is linguistic state, second one is language policy, and third one is central or center state relation. Now we will see the detail. Look at this map. This is the map of 1947, and here we can see only few states. But if we see the map here, look at this map. This is the present condition map, and in this map we can see the state is divided into different parts of the country, and this state has divided on the basis of culture, ethnicity, and geography. Now come to the another point, that is language policy. Beside Hindi, there are 21 other languages recognized as the scheduled languages by the constitution. Next, third point, that is center and state relation. Central government and state government both are having separate election system, and we in our country we can see that central government and state government, they are having different states also. Sometimes it has seen that only one party was not the majority party at the central government. In that case, the coalition government was formed by different political parties. Now, what is coalition government? A government formed by the coming together of at least two political parties, usually partners in a coalition, form a political alliance and adopt a common program. Come to point number 7, that is decentralization in India. What is the meaning of decentralization? When power is taken away from central and the state governments and given to the local government, it is called decentralization. This decentralization process was adopted in 1992 Act. That means a major step taken towards decentralization in 1992. What were the steps? First one, it is constitutionally mandatory to hold regular election to local government bodies. Second, there should be the reservation for scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and other backward class and women section. And one third seats are reserved for women. Next, an independent institution called the State Election Commission has been created in each state to conduct panchayat and municipality elections. The state governments are required to share some powers and revenue with local government bodies. The nature of sharing varies from state to state. Next one point is Panchayati Raj. Here we can see 3 points. Panchayati Raj is divided. First one is Gram Panchayat, and on the Gram Panchayat, Panchayat Samiti, block or mandal is there, and last one is Jila Parishad. And this figure it is for urban areas, and Next one is, sorry, that is it for rural areas, and next one is urban area. Urban area we can see the municipality and municipal corporation. Those who are the head of the municipality, municipal corporation, they are called mayor. Next, what are the advantages and disadvantages of local government? That we have to see. The local government promotes the local problems and it solve easily, because state government cannot solve all the problems of local matters. That's why the local problems are easily solved by the local bodies or local government authorities like panchayat and municipality. Next, the importance of Panchayati Raj. What are the importance of Panchayati Raj? It helps the people to participate directly in decision making process. Secondly, it helps in the decentralization of power. Thirdly, it reduces the possibility of the central government as well as state government. It reduces the responsibility. And next one is the difficulties in Panchayati Raj. First one, the Gram Sabhas are not held regularly. The second thing is most state government have not transformed significant power to the local government. Still, they are not given adequate resources, that you will study in this paragraph.